Every reaction is a surrender. The moment someone can provoke you into anger, panic, or defense, they gain control of your inner world. The ancient samurai believed that a warrior who reacts is already defeated, because he has allowed the outside world to shape the inside. This is the story of how one man learned to take back control by mastering the discipline of non-reaction. Chapter 1. The Breaking Point. Kenji lived a quiet life, but inside he was constantly pulled off balance. A sharp tone from a colleague could ruin his morning. A traffic delay felt like a personal attack. Even small disagreements echoed in his mind long after they ended. One evening, after snapping at a friend for a trivial mistake, Kenji walked home feeling drained and strangely ashamed. He realized it was not the world that exhausted him. It was the way he gave himself away to every emotion that rose within him. His reactions owned him more than he owned himself. Chapter 2. Fudoshin, the Immovable Mind. A few days later, Kenji came across a concept from ancient Japanese philosophy. Fudoshin, the Immovable Mind. Samurai warriors train not only their bodies, but their inner stability. They believe that clarity is lost the moment emotion takes the lead. Miyamoto Musashi wrote of the danger of letting your mind be stained by the moment. Kenji saw himself in those stains, pulled, pushed, twisted by impulses he did not choose. If he wanted to take back control, he needed to cultivate a mind that remained still, even when the world was not. Chapter 3. The System of the Pause. Kenji decided not to rely on willpower. He needed a system. Each morning, he sat for a few minutes in silence, watching his breath as if observing a distant river. He did not chase calm, he practiced awareness. When irritation rose, he simply noted it and did nothing. He also adopted one rule for conversations: pause before speaking. At first, the silence felt uncomfortable, like he was withholding something. But soon, he realized that the pause created space in which the reaction lost its grip. For the first time, he felt a small taste of control. Chapter 4. The First Test. The real test came when a coworker tried to shift blame for a mistake onto him. The old instinct surged, the desire to defend, to confront, to win. But Kenji recognized the familiar heat and waited. He inhaled slowly, allowed the moment to settle, and answered with calm clarity. Let's check the timeline together. No defensiveness, no edge. The tension dissolved, the facts became clear, and the issue ended without conflict. But what mattered most was how Kenji felt afterward. He walked away with his energy intact, as if the situation had passed through him without leaving a mark. Chapter 5. Mushin. Acting without turbulence. Wanting to deepen his practice, Kenji studied Mushin, the state of no mind. It did not mean emptiness or indifference. It meant freedom from unnecessary noise, a mind that moves like clear water around obstacles. To reach this state, Kenji began using what he called the gap. When provoked, he inserted a single breath between stimulus and response. In that breath, he asked himself, what serves the person I'm trying to become? This tiny question shifted everything. It turned reaction into choice. It turned impulse into alignment. Chapter 6. Removing the hooks. Kenji also learned that non-reaction becomes easier when you remove the hooks that pull you. He stopped checking messages first thing in the morning. He avoided conversations that always turned into conflict. He simplified his routine, ate regularly, and created small spaces of silence throughout the day. These were not escapes, they were foundations. He began to see that discipline is not only about endurance, it is about design. A mind with fewer hooks has fewer chances to be dragged. Chapter 7. The Second Duel. Weeks later, he faced a greater challenge. A client sent a harsh email blaming him for something he didn't do, copying several people to increase pressure. The surge came again, stronger this time. Kenji closed his eyes and felt the reaction rise like a wave, but he didn't ride it. He watched it pass. Then he gathered the timeline, stated the facts, and replied without emotion. No apology where none was needed, no counterattack, just clarity. The client apologized the next day, but Kenji cared less about the apology and more about what he did not lose, his center. Chapter 8. The Identity Shift. Slowly, Kenji's identity changed. Non-reaction was no longer a strategy. It became part of who he was. A warrior does not practice calm only when convenient. He lives within it. Musashi wrote that, "The way is in training," meaning every small moment is preparation for the decisive ones. Kenji realized he was no longer trying to avoid reacting. He had become the person who does not react. His presence grew quieter, but stronger. His decisions became clearer. His life became simpler. Conclusion. Kenji learned what the old warriors always understood. Control is not seized through force. It is kept by refusing to hand yourself away. The world will always test you, provoke you, try to bend your state of mind, but you choose whether to move or remain still. When you refuse to react, you do not retreat from life. You rise above it. And in the quiet space between impulse and action, you reclaim the authority that was always meant to be yours.